Alright guys, in this video we're going to look at the difference between independent and dependent events and how we can identify those. Well, what is an independent event? Independent events is basically if one of the events does not affect the probability of the other event happening. Okay? Mathematically, what we look at as far as numbers go is if the probability of B given A is just the same as probability of B, as if A hadn't occurred. Or we could say if the probability of A given B is just the same as the probability of A if B had never occurred. Now, events that are not independent, that don't follow this rule, are called dependent. Okay? So if the probability of B given A is not the same as just the probability of B, then they would be dependent. Let's look at some examples. Okay, so let's say we're trying to select a king from a standard deck of 52 playing cards, not replacing it, and then selecting a queen from the deck. All right, we did this example in the previous video, and when we selected a king and then we selected a queen, we said the probability of that was 4 out of 51. Because the king is no longer in the deck, we now have 51 cards. There are still 4 queens in the standard deck, so it would be 4 out of 51. But now, if we had never selected the king, there would still be 52 cards in the deck. So, there are 4 queens in there. That would be 4 out of 52. Well, look at the difference. The probability that we select the queen, given that we selected the king the first time, is 4 out of 51. But the probability of selecting a queen by itself is 4 out of 52. It has changed. So that means that these two events are dependent. Okay? The occurrence of A changes the probability of the occurrence of B. Okay, so now let's look at tossing a coin and getting a head, and then rolling a 6-sided die and obtaining a 6. All right? Well, if we toss a coin and get a head, and then we roll a 6-sided die and obtain a 6, okay, the probability of rolling the 6 is just 1 out of 6. Okay? Well, the probability of rolling a 6 on a die is 1 out of 6 to begin with. So you'll see it hasn't changed from one to the other. Okay? That means that these two events, flipping the coin and rolling the 6, are independent. The result of one, it doesn't matter if we got heads or tails on that coin. It doesn't change the probability of rolling a 6 afterwards. So they are independent. Now this next one's very subjective. I'm not sure if I really like this example, but I'm going to go through it anyway because I can kind of give a little bit of reasoning as to why this might be true. Okay? It's driving over 85 miles per hour and then getting in an accident. Well, we can probably say driving over 85 miles per hour, that's probably reckless driving. And so if we are doing that, then the likelihood of us getting in an accident is probably going to change. It's probably going to increase. All right? So in that sense, we would probably say that these two are dependent because driving at such a high rate of speed is most likely going to increase the chance of getting in an accident. Now, I don't have any numbers to back that up, but we're going to just go ahead and go with that for this example.